we, like you reach everybody else, on a press statement made by the Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Anthony Blinken, where he talks say, them at the United States, and don't decide for activate Article 212A3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act for make them go restrict, for give visa to certain individuals we then sabi, we then believe say the hamburging the democratic process in Sierra Leone, including the past elections. Now so we have taken note through the press release. Maybe a note verbal will don't follow. We embassy in Washington. But all of the information we get, the first information we get, usually, not through this press release. But of course, what's in government get for do? America didn't get their country. And then they admit what they want. And they refuse what they want. And they restrict what they want. And the law we quote, the state are very clear. Say this not target the Sierra Leonean people. It not target government either. Target particular individuals where they believe say they're enjoying for hamburging the elections we pass through various ways. Intimidation, violence, couscous, and threatening remarks, and they say vote rigging. We as a government, we don't know of any vote rigging. They know. So they know why they say this. But as you can see, the net way they cast you wide. It includes almost everybody will be involved in politics, in elections, and possibly make some remarks or threaten other people and all that. So it is not targeted against government.
But like you said, in that's why it includes people in government as well. It might include people in government
well. That is the point. That is the point. You see, you not only make that statement, but you also quote the Article 212A3C, where state clearly say, if the United States, they apply this law against alien than a stranger, that law they not go apply to anybody when an official of a foreign government. And Sierra Leone government, not a foreign government. You know, they apply to anybody where they turn up for election in a foreign country. In the period just before the election. Maybe after the election, well, then go where they go. But if you're now a serving member of government, you know, they affect you. That's what the law says. And I can read you the caveat.
Okay.
So it says, foreign nationals may be inadmissible if granting the foreign national a visa would cause potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S. However, it does not apply to an alien who is an official of a foreign government or purported government, even if it is not a recognized government. But if it is purported and by popular acceptance, they say not government, we will include the other foreign military regimes and all that. If you didn't have that government, this law no, they affect you. They're not going to restrict you because you're working for a government. And they don't want to foresee them to be interfering in the democracy and the process of governance of other people. You know? I say also, number two, a candidate for an election to a foreign government office during the period just before the elections. Maybe after the election. If you know him, you're not in government, and they believe you do something, then something will affect you. And it says clearly.
La read within the press statement we the Secretary of State's been pulled out, just for put them into context, so people themselves with the watch can understand. You see, the United States is committed to supporting and advancing democracy in Sierra Leone and around the world. Today I am announcing a new visa restriction policy under Section 212A3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act for undermining the democratic process in the June 2023 Sierra Leone election. Under this policy, the United States will pursue visa restriction for those believed to be responsible or complicit in undermining democracy in Sierra Leone, including through the manipulation or rigging of the electoral process, intimidation of voters, election observers, or civil society organizations through threat or acts of physical violence, or the abuse or violation of related human rights in Sierra Leone. Family members of such persons may also be subject to these restrictions. Persons who undermine the democratic process in Sierra Leone, including the lead up to, during, and following Sierra Leone's 2023 elections, may be found ineligible for U.S. visas under this policy. The visa restriction policy announced today will apply to specific individuals and is not directed at the Sierra Leonean people. This decision reflects the commitment of the United States to support Sierra Leoneans' aspiration to have free and fair elections that demonstrate the will of the people and strengthen democracy and the rule of law. Earlier you say the net's wide and involve, they not specifically say who's person, but people in governance were involved in elections as well.
And so are those who are not in government.
Exactly. So are you saying the quotes, the section where you quote, so this law not get for?
No, it does not. Because
people in our government,
no,
people
no,
in the public.
does not. No, it does not. This law is very clear.
But if so, are you saying this is targeting who now? If it's not targeting,
well, I don't know. I am not Anthony Blinken. I am not the one.
But Anthony Blinken making points very clear.
Yeah, but he also quotes a law that is something, and they abide by in America. Okay. That law, they say, this Yasu will they pass this edict, this restriction will they pass. It is according to we law when Immigration and Nationality Act, Section 212A3C. And what does Section 212A3C say? It says yes to go make people inadmissible. However, if then they work for a foreign government, they affect them. How much more do you want to know? If the person they turn up election for a foreign government office, or during the period where it dip and that period they take the election, it's not going to affect them, they're not going to restrict them. Okay. But maybe after the election, if you do not become a government official, something will affect you. That's what I'm saying. But this one clearly says that people that will work in a foreign government are not affected. It's very clear. So the government is confident that no one in this government will be affected by this restriction? If they are working for government. That's what the law says. Okay. If you work in a government, you're a government official, this law no go affect you. That is what it is saying. Unless they want to bend it or amend it. Yesterday, well, I don't know. But the one way I don't hear from where the 31st August, where in court, is say, if you are a government official in a foreign government, and Sierra Leone's government is a foreign government, it is not an American government, this law no go affect you, they no go restrict you. But if you're not a government official and you involve by acts this and that, we no give you any absolution, then of course this law will catch you.